Welcome to the DVD. It's the ultimate podcast for women over 40 who are ready to take control of their health, ditch the diets, and lose weight for good. I am your host and coach, and in today's episode of DVDs, we're going to get real about the struggles of weight loss over 40, and we're diving into a tough but important topic, and that's how to stay on track when no one in your life really supports your journey. So whether it's your spouse rolling their eyes at you, friends tempting you with pizza and beer, or family not understanding why you're making changes, this episode is for you. Let's talk about why it feels so hard. I think that's the most important thing because let's be honest, when people around us don't support our goals, it can feel lonely. It can feel so frustrating. And honestly, it can feel really defeating. And that doesn't matter whether it's a weight loss goal, whether it's parenting, whether it's a financial goal, whether it's, a success goal. When you don't feel supported, it can be very devastating. It can feel very defeating, but women over 40, we already face enough challenges. We have shifting hormones, we have metabolism shifts happening, we have emotional eating at an all-time high because we don't understand what's happening with our body. And having unsupportive people in your life can make it a lot harder, and it can actually take you in the other direction. But here's the truth, and I really want you to listen to this, ladies. Your success is not dependent upon someone else's approval. There's a really great book by Joyce Myers called Approval Addiction, and it really did change my life. I had to learn how to be okay with just pissing people off and making sure that they understood that they were not my end all be all, that I had a purpose in my life and I was moving forward with it, regardless of whether they were along my ride. I wasn't always going to be along their ride with them, but still supporting them. I've never like tried to be unsupportive of someone else. But when I know my mission and I know my goals, I'm not gonna compromise myself to make sure that, you feel happy and you feel content, but it took me a long time to get to that place. So, your success is not dependent upon other people's approval, and I think it's important to understand why other people don't support you because there's a lot of different reasons that go along with that, but there's just really underlying ones that are really obvious for most people. But before we talk solutions, let's talk about those reasons because I don't want you to feel like people are just in general not supportive. I want you to understand the possible reasons why people are not supporting you. Does that make sense? Because there's reasons. The first and foremost one that sticks out for me or has is people feel guilty about their own choices and you are causing them to hold themselves accountable. So when you start making changes, it literally highlights what they're not doing. And that makes people uncomfortable. And so instead of dealing with their own discomfort, they project it onto you. And you feel that. You maybe you don't understand what it is that you feel. I'm not the most in tune with hints or anything like that, but I can sense tension. I can sense stress from other people. Maybe you're like me, and that's them projecting their own frustration and disappointment in themselves upon you. And that that that's it not something you can control, but you have to learn how to be okay with identifying that and then letting it go, right? The other thing is they fear change. People get comfortable with routines. People fear changing themselves. So when you change, it might feel threatening to them, even if they don't realize it. It's why you lose friends through times that you change and become a different person. You lose friendships along the way because people don't always want to change and grow with you. They don't understand your why. They don't. And if they've never struggled with weight, they might not understand why it's so important to you. And in all honesty, have you shared that with them? If you haven't, it's really important that you do that. If you don't take the time to share that with them, can you hold them accountable for the behavior that they are showing? Because um, if you haven't, they don't know your why and they don't know that it's so deep and so important to you. My husband and I had to have a really hard discussion after being separated last year because I don't think he understood how important this business was to me. And he felt left out. He felt jealous. All of these different things, but I hadn't sat him down and said to him, this is my entire passion, my entire world." And once I did that, he looked at it so different. So have you done that with your weight loss journey? Like, this is my body, this is my health, and this is so important to me. This is more important than anything else to me. If you haven't done that, it's really important that you help them understand your why. They think that you're gonna give up anyway. Why? Because what's your pattern? They've seen you try and fail. They've seen you yo-yo diet. They just assume you're on another diet, yet another scam, yet another thing, yet another bloody blah. They don't understand that you are completely, basically overhauling your life and changing your lifestyle for good. And, honestly, within that, they start to miss the old you. They miss the girl that would do shots on the bar with them. They miss the girl that would go try brand new restaurants and drink a whole pitcher of margaritas with them. Some people associate food and drinks or certain habits with friendship, with bonding time, and they fear losing that connection. So that's where really explaining your why becomes important. And I've had people tiptoe around me. I don't get I don't get invited to a lot of things because people are like, "Oh, she won't eat this or she won't do this." And I bring my own food everywhere, so I don't ever worry about food, when it comes to locations, or I make sure that I eat all my food, I don't save my calories, and so if I am getting to an event, I just head for the protein. If you take me to a Chinese buffet, I can find food there. Does that make sense? At no point in time am I so rigid with my world and my food that I haven't learned how to be flexible within it. Because there are ways to win no matter what's happening. And it's just a matter of, do you trust the process? Are you allowing yourself to learn that process? And are you giving over to approval addiction from your friends, or are you really, really on this journey? Are you really, really set into this goal? And have you reassured your friends they're not going to lose the connection with you? You're just doing things just a little bit differently. So, how do you stay on track? How do you do that despite the lack of support? You have to really own that why. Like I said earlier, just kind of backtrack into that. You have to make that why really a lot bigger in your mind than their opinions and anything that they think or say. Because let's get really crystal clear on why you're doing this in the first place. You need to write it down. You need to say it out loud. You need to make it unshakable in your mind so that you have that foundation to go from. So, for example, if you want to feel strong and confident, you need to write that down. I want to feel strong and confident, energized, so I can live a long, healthy life and be an example for my kids. I want to be a badass grandma that was down for anything, can get up and down out of the floor, can pick up her grandkids. What is it that you are attaching your why to? What is so important to you? The next thing I want you to realize is that setting boundaries without seeking permission is really important. And that's true for every aspect of your life. If being a people pleaser has been something that has been part of the addition of your weight gain, let's try to change that. Let's start to create some healthy boundaries. And you don't need people's permission to create boundaries. They don't like it when you create boundaries, but you don't need approval to take care of yourself. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's an unhealthy relationship that makes you have constant stress, it's really important that you create a boundary so that you're not stressed. There's one person in my life that to this day, when they call or text, I have immediate reactions. So there have been times in my life I've blocked them because it's a family member, but it's important that I don't feel so much stress from one human being in my life, right? I've created those boundaries for me, and I don't need that person's permission to take care of myself because they have to take care of themselves, and I've never ever tried to chase them down and be like, you can't take care of yourself." So, I'm expecting to have that same permission to take care of myself. What if it's your spouse, though? If your spouse keeps bringing you home junk food, listen, gentlemen, if you are listening to this, or husbands, if you are listening to this, I want you to understand what's good and what's not good to bring to your wife. So, what is good to bring home is gonna be, flowers, and you wanna be able to say, "I love you," with things, but it's really important, women, that you let your men know, "I love you," or your significant other know, "I love you, but I need to keep my space filled with foods that support my goals." So don't bring her chocolate. Stop that. That might have made her happy, like, when you first started dating. It's not gonna make her happy when she's trying to lose weight. It's just not. It's gonna sabotage her. And at some point in time, that's gonna create a resentment. So bring either non-food items or food items that 100% support us. Show her that you're on board. Does that make sense? And that's true for friends. If friends are pressuring you to drink or eat off plan, it's okay to say, "I'm choosing to do this for me." And I'd love for your support. But even if you don't understand, I'm still doing it. So peace out, deuces, or just hang in there. I'm drinking my soda water. Whatever it is that you are doing, stick to your guns. If people get hurt feelings over this, you're going to have to be okay with that because it takes some fortitude to not give in to temptation everywhere you go. And honestly, if you can't get support from your friends, take a break. Take a break while you're on your journey and then go back to the friendships. If they're real friends, they'll still be there, right? Find support elsewhere. The divas are super supportive of each other. Not everyone's going to cheer for you, but that doesn't mean you're alone. Does that make sense? Surround yourself with like-minded women, like the Empowered Divas community, and get an accountability partner. I do have a free Facebook group, by the way, before I get to shout that out. I'm Danya Powers on Facebook, and if you scroll down, it's the first pinned group on my page. You can find me there. This has been kind of an inactive week in there for me, but generally speaking, I post daily. We're super supportive of each other. It's a great place to get some good habits in place and start building your fitness journey. Get an accountability partner. If your spouse is not willing to be that person, find one. If you don't have one in real life, find one online. There's a lot of groups out there that are really super supportive. And then here's the big thing. As with all plans, it's about figuring out how to be adaptable so that you can be consistent. And you just keep showing up anyway. You just keep showing up anyway. The best way to prove them wrong is not to argue, it's to show them. It's to become the best version of yourself that you know that you can be. And they'll be like, "Man, you really did that." You know what I mean? You'll inspire people. Results are always going to speak louder than words. So you got to keep going even when no one's clapping for you. I would say 99% of my online fitness journey, even with the mentors that I had in my life at that time, nobody supported this business. Nobody did. And I had so much backlash and back push and made fun of. Like, I had so many of my mentors in my life say, "Nobody's ever gonna pay you for this." And my whole thing became, "Bet me, watch me go." And that's how this business came to be. Well, my weight loss journey was almost the same thing because I had doctors shoving so much garbage in my face and trying to get me on every other drug known to man to lose weight, or, how to starve a little bit more one-on-one and lose every bit of your muscle and screw up your entire metabolism, lessons that I didn't want to learn. And so I was like, "Bet me, I'm gonna hire this coach." I remember my doctor telling me, "I just think once that doesn't work, you'll come back." And so I literally made an appointment to go in and throw my numbers down in front of her and be like, "Yo." So that's you just have to get good at keep going, even when no one's clapping for you. You have to let go of the need for approval. And I give you permission. Danya Powers, on this day, give you permission to let go of needing the approval of other human beings. Stop waiting for people to be as excited as you are about your journey. It's your life. It's your body. It's your future. It's the one thing that you control. It really is. You do not need their validation for you to succeed. You got me? Do you feel me? This is your journey. At the end of the day, you don't need permission to be healthy. You don't need permission to be strong and confident. People might not support you. And you know what? To be quite honest with you, that is probably going to happen to you. And I'm sorry, and it does hurt. But that doesn't mean you stop because it's your journey. It's not theirs. So stay the course. Show up for yourself daily. And remember, this is your journey. This is your story. If this episode spoke to you, I want you to share it with a friend who needs to hear it. And if you're looking for some real, unwavering support, you can find me on Facebook at Danya Powers and scroll down and join our free group. The Empowered Diva community is here for you. And you can also find me on Instagram, Danya Powers EC, and TikTok, Danya Powers EC. If you're watching this on YouTube, you have found me at Empowered Coaching. But until next time, stay strong, stay consistent, and stay fabulous, my divas. Thanks for tuning into this latest episode of the Diva Deets. If this helped you and you found it valuable, share it with a friend who needs to hear it. Ready for more support? Join my free Facebook community or join my coaching community. The details are in the show notes. Don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, stay strong, stay consistent, and stay fabulous, my divas.